No, no, no. Clara Clayton is not the Jar Jar Binks of the Back to the Future trilogy. That's stupid.
John! I'm back from the future. I've brought your hoverboard.
Wow, Doc, this is heavy.
But gigawatts, it's a terrible joke.
Yeah, I know. Hey, this is John Carlos, and I pre-ordered the hoverboard prop replica from MattyCollector.com, so I'm really anxious to check it out. Here's the external box. I pre-ordered it within the window that includes the mini hoverboard that works for the other Mattel 6-inch figures like the Dark Knight series, the Ghostbusters series, and He-Man. Pardon me. Excuse me. Ugh. Well, I'm going to give them a lot of props on packaging. Within Back to the Future 2, the hoverboard was made by Mattel. And then a couple years ago, Mattel got the license to Back to the Future. They never announced any 6-inch scale figures, but they did announce that they're going to do a prop replica of the hoverboard, much like they did prop replicas from Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters packaging was clever in that it wasn't just some generic box that said PKE meter. It was designed to look like it was from Egon's lab and stuff. And they've carried that creativity over to this, where it's not just some generic box that says hoverboard. It looks like the packaging for what would be a hoverboard toy for kids. One slight, tiny nitpick, if I'm going to be nitpicky, is that in the movie, like the little girl's hoverboard blatantly has like the stick handle, leading me to presume that that's what the hoverboard is. So I feel like the packaging should include the stick handle that Marty breaks off. But I sort of get from like an art standpoint, maybe you don't want to include that since the actual board they're selling won't include that. But as a dork, I would like to see that handle on there, just if this is supposed to be a box from within that world. So the packaging says, "Don't be a bojo on a bike, glide on a hoverboard." Hoverboard will not actually hover. Colors and decorations may vary. That's fun. There was some talk when they were like visiting Mattel about actually having it say hoverboards don't actually work on water, which actually with "Don't be a bojo" is the actual line when Marty's on water, but it's still fun nonetheless. I like that they include, as if this was a real toy, the other hoverboards that are available. Unlike some other boxes where, like the outer case where it was like a flap that could plug in, these flaps are glued, so if you care about preserving your box, you're gonna damage your box on this. Yep, there it goes already. The 6-inch figure board is taped to the packaging of the display. And voila, here it is. Right off the bat I could tell you that at least on mine, the sticker surface is not 100% flat. There are little bubbles in it, which may require some smoothing out. Nothing terrible, but nothing perfect either. Luckily though, I'm happy to say they do smooth out. I like that they included the hole for the pull, which they should make as like something you can buy later. Although I hate when they make you have to buy something later. Well, it's kind of a catch-22. You're never going to use the actual pull, like why would you? But the fact that it's not there makes it like not there. But if you're going to like cosplay as Marty or something, you're going to carry the board around. If you haven't been aware, when they were producing this, you know, Bob Gale went to Mattel and they did like a very fun video where he brought like, you know, the original prop hoverboard so they can reference it. And there's a lot of fun times with them claiming to get all the details right. There are a lot of details they got right. However, if you haven't followed the news, when this came out, you know, Bob Gale kind of issued a statement saying he was a little disappointed that the sticker surface didn't feature like a sort of lenticular, I don't want to call it lenticular, like almost like a little prism. When the light hits it, it would kind of bend. And if you watch the movie and kind of slow it down, you can see what I'm talking about. In the 80s, there's these like prismic sticker surfaces that line the hoverboard and are on the surface. And that's why I say they're not actually on here. There's a sticker surface that sort of mimics that effect in 2D, but it's not actually going to take light and bend it in any kind of lenticular prism fashion. Which is funny because those kind of stickers existed in the 80s, so it's kind of surprising that they can't figure that out in 2012. But it's not enough that when you look at the board as a whole, you go, oh my god, the board's terrible. It looks like a hoverboard. If you're going to be a stickler for detail, I can kind of see Bob Gale's point. It's not exactly like it is in the movie. See, if this was lenticular, the little light prisms would actually move instead of just being one generic sticker. Props, though, to including a Velcro panel on here, though. They didn't cheap out on the foot part and any of the Velcro and using some weird fake thing that looks like Velcro, so good for them. According to the instruction manual, if I shake this, it'll power up, hum, and then power down. And that's that. And then on top of that, there's 3 other sound effects. You can do a nose wheelie where you tilt the front end up. There's a back wheelie where you tilt the back up, and then if you curve left or right. Now that hum is really loud. Louder than it even is in the movie, but... And stop. There's no on-off button. You just wait for it to stop. So having played with that a bunch, I could tell you the speaker being hidden is impressive. The fact that, like, they didn't take this green panel. Oh, I'm taking the batteries out when we're done. It could have been easy for them to take the speaker and like hide it in the green foot panel and make it look like a speaker, but it's clearly like built into the plastic underneath, and it just sort of reverberates through the plastic. You can tell they had to make it really loud to like penetrate the plastic area, which is good because it gives you clarity. It's bad because the hoverboard was never really that loud in the movie, and on top of which, like all the banking sound effects, if you already noticed, they're aggressively present. It almost sounds like a lightsaber than a hoverboard. Well, it says Back to the Future 2 on this cheap plastic thing. So I guess to get this to properly display, the Back to the Future wording needs to be on the inside. The top 2 hooks fit on the top 2 prongs, the bottom catch on the bottom there. And it still wants to fall because there's a speaker and all this stuff on the right that makes it want to tip. Let's try it again. Even when you kind of spread it to tighten against all 4 points of contact, it still wants to just open up. You know what? Ta-da! Mattel also claims that this has a gliding feature. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think just smooth plastic isn't really a feature. Wow. So here's the hoverboard for the 6-inch scale figures if you pre-ordered it. This one actually does come with the hoverboard handles. I must say it turned out pretty good. Yay or nay? Ultimately I'm going to go with yay. Yes, there are problems with it. We discussed the sticker surface with the bubbles and how it's not totally screen accurate. The sound effects were alright, not the best. But in the end, despite little flaws like that, or despite this POS that's totally useless to me. I think, holy crap, I'm holding a hoverboard. And for that alone, as a nerd of the franchise, it makes me really happy just to hold this in my hand, to find a better way to display it, for sure. But I don't regret getting it. I regret that it costs so much. As some nerds and collectors are wanted to do, sometimes we spend too much on things that we love. And I love Back to the Future. I love having a hoverboard. And I certainly like having this. Hopefully this is like the precursor to them launching a 6-inch scale figure series. Because if not, this is just a giant tease. Because what the hell does Batman or Venkman need this for? I'm Hill Valley's Reckoning! Doc and Biff living together, mass hysteria. Hey Batman, thanks.
Keep it. I got a pit bull now.
If you have the means to pick it up and the desire and the money to spend, know its faults, but no, you're still holding a friggin' hoverboard, and that's awesome.